Hi everyone, welcome back to Eyes on Prize. I want to talk about removing your own being first out of your eye before you can remove the mote out of your brother's eye. I want to talk about this because people like to judge and tell people what to be delivered from and what are their flaws and what they need to do. But the funniest thing about removing your own being, in Matthew 7 and verse 5, the scripture read, "Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of your own eyes, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother eye." Okay, so there's a lot of people I've encountered back in the days, and even till this day, and they would talk about other people's fault. They would talk about what people are doing and point out every single detail of what other people deliverance is. But not one time they're squealing on their own self or talking about themselves. But it's like they can see what another person is doing wrong when you look into their life, they're worse than even the person they're calling out. The scriptures say in James 1:22-24. And I like this scripture because it said a lot. It said, "But be ye doer of the word, and not error only, deceiving your own self. For if any be a error of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man holding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his ways, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he is." So be a doer of the word is do the word. Don't hear it and he know the word, but do it too. Practice what you preach. So when I decide to speak on this, because I think it's something that needed to be said, it's like we can do an open rebuke. If you see your brother or your sister or your brethren doing something wrong, we can do what we call a open rebuke, because in Proverbs 27 verse 5 it said, "Open rebuke is better than a secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." If you see your brother or your sister falling by the wayside, you can go to them and speak to them in love. Sometimes we are telling people what their deliverance is. But yeah, there's sometimes people are saved and been in the church for 25 years or 10 years, and they have not been delivered from the same demon they've been fighting for 20 years or 10 years. They're always falling at the same demon or spirit that is irking in their spirit. If you come to God and God, you ask for forgiveness, and God give you that grace to forgive you, don't keep going back and doing the same thing over and over and over. That's presumptuous sin. Okay? If you go to God and you have sinned in whichever way, because all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So if we sin and we go to God and we ask God for forgiveness, So we fall again at the same thing that we ask for forgiveness for. Okay, you fall. You go back, you ask for forgiveness, and then you put yourself in the same the same circumstance, and it happened again. You got to understand one thing. If this is how the enemy come at you, that's Satan. You fall at one thing, he's going to come back with the same thing that he got you with, but it's going to come in another way. And when it comes into another way, if you really sincerely ask an apology and forgiveness from God, you should at least try to identify that demon, that spirit, because you fall at it the first time. It's going to come back around. So if you keep falling in the same trap for 10 years, 5 years, 25 years, you are stagnant. You're not trying to change. You're comfortable in that stagnant situation. For me, I'll give you an example. If I fall at something right now and I ask for forgiveness, I guarantee you when it comes around again, I'm not going to fall for it the second time, because my spirit can identify what it is. That's the same thing that I fall at the first time, but it comes around in a different way, a different circle. My intention and my focus is to grow every day in God. So if I'm trying to grow in God, I shouldn't be falling. And if I'm in the Word every day and I'm fasting and going by God direction of the Bible, I shouldn't be falling at the same thing for 5, 10, 20, 25 years. No. You shouldn't be, because you're not growing, you're not evolving, you're stagnant, you're at the same place. So why would you ask for forgiveness knowing quite well you're going to go and do the same thing? And then some people say, I'm a work in progress. Everybody is a work in progress, because there's nobody on earth without sin right now. Okay? For me, I am trying to be perfect. My goal is to be perfect, because I want to be spotless. But how that happen, how can I get to perfection, to be perfect, is I got to strive every day to do better, to do good. I would not associate myself with people that pull me down. I have friends. I have a lot of friends. But the thing about my friendship is, if I'm with you and I see that you're going to pull me down, there's time in our life that we have to let people go. We have to let go. It's not that we don't love you. We still love you. Because I know I pray for people regardless if I let you go. The thing is, when I am growing or going to another level in God, not everybody can come to that next level with me. Because some people don't want to go to the next level. Some people would want to be there and they're not even knowing that Satan is using them to pull you back. For me, I will not put down my sword for no reason. This is my power. This is my sword. And this is the word I use against my enemy and anyone that oppose or come against me. Okay, so as a Christian, we need to learn to walk away from circumstances, from people that is not feeding your inner man, that is trying to suck you dry and like to make you revert back to who you were in the past. God called us to holiness. God called us to stand upon His word. So when I say all of that, I say all of that to say this. That stop criticizing other people when you yourself is not perfect. Do not criticize other people behind their back as Christian. Don't do that, because you're no better than them. Because you're criticizing them, what that says about you. Instead of you going on your knee and praying and fasting for that person to try to help that person to come out of the rut or whatever they're fighting, and for all these years they're fighting and can't let go of, help them. If they don't want to be helped or get help, then walk away. But don't keep criticizing people, speaking negative about people and their flaws when we have a mold in our eyes. Oh my God. It's like, and it's worse, it's like an infection in your eyes, but you're not seeing your infection getting worse and worse and worse, but you're talking about other people infection or problem that they're going through, and you're not being a help, you're also being a problem, because you're not helping them, talking about them. So, like the Bible calls us, hypocrites. So, what I'm basically trying to say is, if we cannot help another person who's going through things, just leave them alone. Do not hinder your own blessing that by speaking negative or criticize other people, because we're all called as each other helper. We are a brothers and sister helper. We are the neighbor. We're supposed to be our neighbor's friend. We should be friends to our neighbor. Because who do we love? How can we love God who we can't see, but our neighbor that we see every day we despise? We don't like them. We don't even tolerate them. I say all of this to say this, that we can go to someone in love. We can be respectful to rebuke someone in love. But at the same time, you can't rebuke somebody that you're a mess yourself too. How are you going to go and rebuke somebody and try to tell people what to do or what they're doing wrong when yourself, your house is a mess? Your house is not in order, but you're trying to make another person's house in order. Clean up your house first. Go clean your house up first, and then you can come back and help that person clean their house up too. All right? So that is what I want to talk about today. So, for those who are joining me for the first time, I appreciate you finding the channel. Remember to comment, like, and please subscribe to this channel. Let me know what you want to hear at time too, okay? Until next time, be blessed and be safe.